Good afternoon, everyone. Let's get this, let's call this meeting to order. Time is 6 p.m. Today is Tuesday, June 20, 2023. Please, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and prayer. Establishment of a quorum. We have Commissioner Diaz, Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos, and Commissioner Glenn. Public can comment, item number 3, public can comment must notify the board to speak on certain agenda items. 5 minutes, public can comment by calling 915-213-3008. That's 915-213-3008. PIN code for this call is 857-105-303#, or in person by signing in on the cheat sheet provided. Consent agenda. Anything you'd like to pull out from consent agenda, commissioners?
Nothing, sir. Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Glenn. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos, Commissioner Glenn.
Aye.
Motion carries. Regular agenda. Commissioners, Ms. Elva Ramos did send me a message that she was not going to be attending. Can I have a motion to delete?
Motion to delete, sir. Second.
A motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Glidden. Commissioner Diaz.
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 7, discussion on personal matters, report by Cano HR.
Good evening, everybody. We've had some resumes sent in to Assistant Chief and Chief. Loop Tech, we did do some interviews the other day. I believe that nobody was chosen for that position, so that position is still open. And we did submit some more resumes to Chief and Assistant Chief, I'm assuming for that position, right, Cindy? For the same position. So we're still interviewing for that position. And then, of course, just regular matters that are coming up. Any questions?
None. Thank you.
Okay, later. Supervisor?
Yes.
We're just starting with the resume, so we just, can you please bring me first?
All the people assigned to the argument comes from all houses, all the police. Market options.
There is, and the pay, the starting pay is relatively good for the maintenance supervisor position. It's just your concern, our concern is always going to be the distance of your location geographically. That's always going to be a challenge. But Chief's done a good job on trying to make it a little more attractive for individuals that are kind of a little further out. But for the most part, I mean, we have people applying, so. Well, I mean, there's sometimes, for example, no.
Like if they leave and if they live like, let's say the George Dieter area, they can park the truck, the maintenance truck out in that area. That
Yes.
way they don't have to use their fuel to come here.
Yes.
You know,
Just
try
thinking
to,
outside the box.
yeah, it's a.
it just, nowadays people are very specific on certain things. We have good it's not cookie cutter. if we screen correctly, give good interviews, then we select the best of what we get. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you from our own experience, we're currently trying to fill a couple of positions. And so we do get a diamond in the rough every once in a while. But would I say that, I would say maybe 75% is good meets criteria for the most part. But it's still, I wouldn't say it's like in your upper 80, 90s at all of, 9 out of 10 candidates are like a good fit for consideration. Not always, no. Yeah. It's
Do you
still very
think-
selective.
Do you think it's still considered, it's something to consider that it's due to COVID or maybe it just made a whole,
Yes.
it was a brand
it's-
new change since then?
It's a whole mindset change.
Okay.
It's a whole mindset change, just in general now.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's directly, I don't think it would be fair to say it's directly related to, but can we say that we can pinpoint a change
It came from
afterwards?
there.
Yes,
Afterwards.
yes, yes.
Okay,
Okay, still,
thank you.
you're very welcome.
Appreciate it.
Any other questions?
Negative.
Okay, you're welcome.
Item number 7 for informational purposes only. Item number 8, discuss the monthly reports by Chief Esparza and all department heads. Go ahead, Chief Soso.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Like Brenda and Cynthia were saying, we are actively seeking to fill 2 positions for the maintenance supervisor and the lube tech position. We did interview 2 persons for the lube tech, but none of them were a good fit for us. So we've opened that up again. We're hoping to get those positions filled sooner than later. And also, I would like to say that, as you all know, we had our graduation ceremony here last week, and it was a huge, huge success. The public that was here, they were very appreciative of the thought and effort that went into the volunteers. And they wanted me to relay that to you all, that they really enjoyed what we did for the volunteers and our paid staff. And with that being said, I would like to thank Angie and Rosie. They put on a great show. So thank you to them.
Thank you. girls.
That's pretty much all I have, Commissioners. Any questions for me? You are correct, Commissioner. So last week we had 9 individuals getting badged or pinned, and this place was packed. It was standing room. So you're absolutely right. If we're gonna graduate 20 individuals, we will need a bigger place.
Well, you guys did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. The class starts on the 17th and then it'll be about 5 weeks later. No, it's gonna
First week
be
in
like
August.
the August the 19th or the 26th. 20.
There's 20 that are currently enrolled.
Yeah, there's 20. The problem that I did talk to a couple of the chiefs are like, this is nice because it's inside and it's warm and it's nice and cold. We're going to a bay and we're gonna be sweating. We're gonna be, so we'd have to, and they kind of like this. So I think I'm gonna have to look for like a school auditorium or something like that. Mr. Olmsted.
Hello, Commissioners. Jamie Olmsted, Logistics and Compliance. The only thing that I really have for you is that I requested complete department inventories from each department at the end of February. After the initial email, I sent out 3 more. And
3 more emails?
3 more emails, because our agreement was 3. I sent 4. And I got no reply. Well, I'm lying to you. After the second one, hey, update. I did get a response from Chief Sariñana that his was almost completed.
Okay.
Then I sent a third one, and then I sent one last week and got no replies. The only ones that I have are Clint and West Valley. And I did state in the one email that it is in their service contract under reporting requirements in 4.2 that they are to submit a complete department inventory prior to this meeting right now in June. And what? Well, as I see them around and talk to them, yes, I like, where's my inventory?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Ever since that happened, have you, well, you just sent your last email last week, correct?
Mhm.
Have you given that information to Chief Esparza so that he can go ahead and,
They're courtesy copied on my emails,
their
sir.
courtesy copy?
Yes, sir.
As well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, at this point, what's gonna be the direction, I guess, you know?
Well, I would have to put an agenda item for them to be addressed at the next board meeting.
Okay. Right.
You need to get up and sign up and
Yeah.
you have something to say for Socorro?
Mr. Barnes, just real quick. When you were in the military, how many chances would you get, sir? Okay,
There's a sign.
we want an answer and we need to hold them accountable.
There's a sign-in sheet. It's on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that and it got better. It got better and then all
You
of a
wanna
sudden,
comment on
I'm
that?
back down to the same thing.
You can go ahead.
I'm with you.
So, there's a quick comment on that. We actually already have it done. I feel like we turn in somebody like. Already,
Thank you. Any reason why it's just getting turned in?
Yes.
You're here to turn it in. You're,
Yeah,
okay.
Well, my issue is that it's in the service contract. So when they sign it, they know that from, hey, I'm signing my contract today. So by the board meeting in June, I have to submit a complete inventory. Exactly. It's ink on paper.
Yep.
Not email. How much time do they?
Well, the first one I sent out was like, it was February 27th, requesting a complete inventory of the departments. I may lie to you, but I believe my next follow-up one was like, March 30th, just a, hey, any update, you know.
So we would, so February 27th.
Well, the last week email said, just so you're aware, your inventories are due by Monday, because the meeting is today. No, I just asked for a complete inventory. And then I sent the one in March, and then the one after March, the third one was the one where I put, it's in your service contract.
No, it just says it is required by the district personnel.
No, it says that it's required every year to be turned in prior to this meeting tonight, before the board meeting in June. And it's in 4.2.
So technically.
It's in 4.2.
They're just gonna do. See it time again. My recommendation, it's a not whatever we need to deduct, we deduct. But that's just me, but it's because it's just, it's all the time,
Commissioner,
just.
Commissioner, do you think so? Hey, Commissioner. Avalos, they actually have time from the time that they sign the contract and they know that it's there and it is due. I mean, and here we are, all the way from September to now. Here we are, June.
This could be a perfect, I was not stating this.
Well, but that's why we had agreed 3 email.
Are you copying, I guess, the assistant chiefs now, or is it just one person?
Yeah, like on this one, I send it to the chiefs. And then I attach these 2 chiefs along with the email.
Right. And the problem is like, Chief Cordero is only him. He has no officers. He has nobody else. So if it's not turned in, it's on him. Chief Reyes does have, Chief Calzada, but they're all both working like right now. I did talk to him today on a different issue. Chief Sariana does not have an assistant chief right now. He does not have an assistant chief right now. And also Chief Reyes, I'm sorry, Chief Treviso has, Michael Martinez as his assistant chief. And again, he's the only one that ever requests for him to be CC'd on that email. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Ramos.
His is done.
Yes. I
Clinton,
commend them on that.
Clinton West Valley's done. The biggest thing with Clinton's inventory is they had a bunch of junk. And we went and cleared it out. Cause they literally had junk stacked up all in one of the bays against the wall that'd been there for years. And he told me that he was told by the prior logistics supervisor guy that they couldn't turn that stuff in. And I was like, no, you can. And we cleaned out that place because it was junk.
I forgot one department. Montana Vista does have 2, and I know they had worked on it because remember we talked
Well,
about this.
Montana Vista's had theirs since January because they requested it because of the change in leadership. And
Yeah,
they've had
and-
theirs.
Yes. Yes.
I believe Chief Marcus is going off of the January, February inventory that he presented. That's what he had told me, so.
Well,
He said he was gonna contact you and follow up, find out if there's something else you need to do. Or he needs to do.
cause I haven't received anything from any of them.
Probably send me an email.
Oh, yeah.
I sent them 4.
And they have.
Well, they had to me since they signed the contract, cause it's in their contract. Cause I'm assuming that they've all read their contracts.
A special meeting just to adjust a couple of things with the chiefs.
Once we get them in, they don't believe me, that's why. They don't trust me that once we get all this in and get everything set up, all of our jobs are gonna be a little bit easier. So. And that's all I have, unless you have any more questions.
And thank you, Mr. Rumstead. Is that right? So let me cover a couple of issues here. Number one, I think you all are aware that the first command unit is in. It's currently parked in our back Sally Port. The second unit is scheduled to be here August, September. I just got notified last week that the axles finally came in for it. So it should be in Florida sometime next week. Also, commissioners, let me stop for a minute. Can both of you turn on your microphones? They said they can't hear you.
Just turned it on.
So it'll be August, September for the second unit to be completed. Also, pumper 701, which is out of Socorro, is currently at Doggett Freightliner getting repaired. It was a little minor fender bender, not to mention the fact that that firefighter no longer works here also. So it's gonna be repaired. It was covered under our insurance. He scraped the side of while fueling, scraped the fuel island bollard, and that caused damage to it. The truck was still running, but we need our truck repaired back to its original look. The fuel pump in the back is scheduled to be here the first week of July. Again, that's what I'm being told. I've been being told this since we bought it back in September. They did install the pedestal. They are waiting for one piece that comes in tomorrow so they can finish the pedestal, but they'll get it up and running. And they'll install the fuel pump the second week of July, is from what I'm being told. Also, firefighter 1 and 2 will commence July 17th. We will have orientation on June 30th for those members that are interested in going through it again or completing firefighter 2. We do look like we said we would have 20 people for firefighter 2. It looks like we're gonna have a couple of more just because there's some that already had firefighter 1 and they're looking to complete firefighter 2. So that's a positive for us.
What day was that again?
We will begin July 17th and orientation will be June 30th. And of course, we had to make modifications from the last class. There's a lot of changes through SFFMA. Now there is a lot of prerequisites. That's why we're having another orientation, because before we can accept them into the class, they must have those prerequisites. Because the last time we went crazy trying to get all their prerequisites finished when before they weren't required until afterwards. So now we're gonna have to make sure that before they sign up, they have all those prerequisites, which is also on the agenda for another section. Well, I'll discuss those later. I didn't get a call from El Paso Electric today. They will be submitting the plan for the Montana Vista station to TxDOT tomorrow afternoon. They made this a priority as I went personally down to El Paso Electric and tried to talk to somebody. Of course, I can't get in the Fortress there at El Paso Electric, but they did answer my questions that they did assign somebody to oversee this. They're working on it diligently. They are calling me to keep me posted on where the status is. So the lady did call me today. There is an agenda item for us to allow El Paso Electric to have 6 more feet of easement on our alley, because that pole that they're gonna have to put is way bigger. So for the 3-phase, so they are needing that.
You're gonna knock down that wall?
Probably part of it. But they are having to reach out to the owner of the property next to it, which it turns out that they were telling me they live on the west side. So I offered to go knock on their door and hopefully, they're receptive to it, because they need 6 feet on that side too, because of the size of the pole. Met with the engineer to go over the scope of work for the Fabian station. We do have a proposal from him. We will go over that in their executive and their contracts. We are still searching for a maintenance supervisor, as Chief Salcedo mentioned. I did meet with the El Paso County, as they're interested in the dog kennel we own on the west side. At the same time, it was weird because I got a phone call from the city of Vinton. They are also interested on that property. So we will hear back soon from them. They want us to get it surveyed, so I don't know if that's something that I'll put an agenda item at the next one so we can hire somebody to survey it and go from there. But they're interested to put a dog kennel, animal services on the west side, because currently they have to bring them, either take them to an animal shelter down on the west side, and if they're full, they have to drive all those animals down to Montana Vista Station. So the county is looking for a way, and that property already has all those kennels. So they are looking to maybe acquire that from us.
Hey, chief, on that, will we have to get 3 quotes for the,
Surveyor,
yes, sir.
probably.
Okay.
The sewer pump is now completed and running and paid for. I saw the invoice. They try to get us for $8,000 more for shipping. But didn't agree to it. So they did end up sending the bill. I am gonna meet with the elections department on the use of the facility for Sanelli. So one of the things that's been happening, and I think I've mentioned it to you all before, every year when there's an election, we get involved when somebody's either taking off the signs from somebody or, they're yelling at each other in front of our facility. Now, the elections department is sticking to their guns and saying, that's your facility, you need to handle that. I don't think we should be involved in the political side of telling a mayor or a sitting mayor or somebody that's running against him to move out, because that's, to us, is gonna be bad. So that's what I told them, and they're adamant that they won't. So to me, I think the use of our facility is over just because of that. We want nothing to do with it. And they seem to think that, since we own it, it's our right to go and say, you need to get out or you need to move out. We don't do those things. That's one of the things that
We
we.
had
don't do.
incidents or
What's that?
what facilities had incidents?
Sanelli.
Just one.
That's the only one they're using for elections.
Well, yeah, Stanley, you're right. Okay.
Sanelli.
But it's been more than one, Commissioner Wanadu. Yeah, more than one time of happened.
More than one incident and even multiple incidents every election time.
Well, it's a great marketing opportunity. I don't know what the incidents were, but
Right, and I think if they agree that I told them, it's not our problem, it's not our use, it's our facility, but you're the one requiring it to use it. Why should we pay for security? It doesn't make sense.
county sheriffs, if we need to, shouldn't be our peace officers, it should be county responded.
Well, but they want us to be the ones to initiate all that, and we shouldn't be involved.
No, agreed. We should be as impartial, apolitical as possible when it comes to elections, politicians there, people running for office, because then if one person says we were biased towards the other, and it's just, we need to stay miles away from that because we're not a political institution, we're a policy. So I agree with you, Chief. We need to divorce ourselves from that. I think that would be the best thing for us.
And finally, we are currently still working on all vehicles, waiting parts. It is getting a little bit better, but some of the vehicles like Mobile Air, they still have not shipped out the one thermostat, and we cannot find that anywhere. It's out of England, and I've contacted the one vendor that says out of, I believe, Florida, and they're actively looking for it. And that's the only thing wrong with it. I think right now we would be able to use it without a thermostat. I think it's hot enough to where diesel engine would work fine, but my next goal is also on the agenda for us to get Montana Vista's air compressor up and running. Any questions, commissioners?
What's wrong with the air compressor? It's just,
Montana Vista, 2 of the 4 cylinders are bad, and those cylinders are costing an average each cylinder $4,000. And to repair those is $3,000. And I'm being told that everybody that has those cylinders are having the same issue. So I'm recommending that we do not purchase those cylinders. They were graded as a thought that we did not have to get a DOT inspection hydrostatic test, but they're not lasting.
what's the option? Should replace?
No, we're looking at a different cylinder that needs a 10-year DOT inspection versus a none. Because they can replace valves on those and we can get them back up and running. These, we would have to send it back out to the manufacturer and pay transportation. So just to fix it is $3,000 plus shipping.
What year model is it, chief?
What's that, the cylinder?
Yes, sir.
Been here 15 years, so they're 18 years old. They're worth fixing, but if we spend that kind of money and that happens again, we're gonna spend that money because it's the only cylinder has to go back to the manufacturer because they gotta cook it to take the internals out, to place another one, and then get it back and repaint it to send it back out.
It's a portable one, right? Is this portable?
No.
I think when you say cylinders, I'm thinking
Yeah, so
internal
the big,
engine.
oh, no,
Got it. My apologies.
the answer.
Any other questions, commissioners?
Negative, sir.
Item number 8 are for informational purposes only. Item number 9, discuss and approve discontinuing the required monthly meeting attendance on giving presentation of the communications report of all departments to Ms. Elva Ramos from Horizon City Police Department, submitted by Chief Esparza. Commissioners, this, I was asked by Commissioner Santana to place this on the agenda for your consideration. He thinks that, bring Ms. Ramos every month to, just to read the report is a waste of our time. Do you have a motion?
Motion.
It should be an S.
Well, motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 10, discuss and take action on the finance presentation for the purchase of 2 new quints submitted by Chief Esparza. And I believe Mr. Adrian Galvan is on the line.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi, good evening. My name is Adrian Galvan with the firm of TGL Financial Consulting. Thank you so much for allowing us.
Can you
Share screen?
raise up your volume a little bit on your microphone or
Okay, let me get. Okay, can you guys hear me now?
a little bit?
Are you just randomly pressing?
Okay,
You should not
Yeah.
go to college.
all right. So I'm gonna yell into my mic. So I was okay, good evening. Again, my name is Adrian Galvan with TGL Financial. We're financial advisors to the district. Thank you so much
Chief,
for
you
allowing
should
us.
probably let him know we can't hear him up here.
We can't hear you that good, Mr. Galvan. Give me 1 minute. He's in Austin.
I'm in Fort Worth. Can you let me try to connect on my phone?
Yeah, it's not working right. I don't know if it's a volume, is there volume on our end, Roger, or no?
Yeah, I'm checking it. No, my volume is high.
Hello, hello. Someone flash. They can hear on the Zoom call, on the Teams call. Let me try connecting on my cell. Hello.
No, same, Roger.
Yeah, it's not coming across.
Yeah, same.
Hold on.
I can still hear on my end from Chavez. Hello, testing.
You
Chief,
guys hear what there?
Yeah, can you mute that one and I'll put you on the speaker over here?
Ito. Very good. Very good.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Well, thank you for, a minute, get seat. Can we put the screen? Or do I do it from my end?
You can present from your end.
Okay, so we were asked to figure out what cost to fund a $3.4 million project fund. And January all that being said, July 18th.
Mr. Galvan, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you all. I'm gonna hang up on my end.
Discuss and take action on the finance presentation for the purchase of 2 new quints.
So
Somebody-
no action.
No action, commissioners. Informational purposes only. Item number 11, discuss and take action on creating a budget committee consisting of 2 ESD board members and to oversee the budget creation of fiscal year 2023, 2024. Commissioners, last year you had 2 commissioners, which I believe was Commissioner Barnes and Commissioner Santana. Same thing, just to review what if we put on the budget and make sure they were concise.
How many meetings are we gonna have?
It's just one, once we look at the budget and come up with the totals, you all will be there to review.
Is that when we sit down with the chiefs?
What that?
That's when we sit down with the chiefs and
No, we've already had all their input of what they want on the budget.
why did
This-
it change?
Hmm?
Why'd that change?
It's always been like that. We send out of all their wants and needs at the beginning,
Right.
put it on the budget, and then it comes out on the end.
I'd like a chance to serve on this one.
So all the chiefs had time to put stuff in or, because don't say, it hasn't always been like that, because first time I did it a couple years ago, we sat down with each chief at their fire station, went over each budget.
Oh, no, that was, now since we consolidated everything, it's been changed since then. I mean, it's their wants and their needs and,
Stand there.
yeah, so.
All the chiefs submitted, there's no,
The ones that did, I sent the emails and some of them replied right away, some of them didn't.
email's like a 4-letter word now. So 5 letters, I got it. All right, no, I'll do it. It's, yeah, of course.
So the commissioners the 2 people will be decided on later, because I know Commissioner Diaz had expressed interest just now of trying this
Sure.
as well.
I mean, I'll do it. If you want, what you want to.
No, I'm just saying because Commissioner Diaz had expressed interest. That way you guys can decide, you and Commissioner Diaz and Commissioner Santana.
There's 2.
Right. Santana.
Who did it last year, you said?
You and Santana.
I know I did.
That's what Mariana gave us, that it was you and Santana.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you want to do it?
No, I'm Commissioner Diaz says no. Not budget. I wouldn't be good at budget.
No spelling. All right, no problem. Whatever comes up, I'm available if you need.
You can pick now, you can pick later.
Yeah.
You postpone this, you can pick now if you
I
like.
mean,
I'll do it.
let's do it right now. I
Yeah, I'll
mean,
do it.
if
Why
no,
You and Diaz?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we make a motion to
Yes.
appoint? Okay, so motion to appoint Commissioner Diaz and Commissioner Barnes to the 2-person committee for the budget.
Have a motion to
Second
appoint
verse.
Commissioner Diaz and Commissioner Barnes. A motion by Commissioner Avalos. Do I have a second?
I second.
You can have a date to be determined.
Yes.
Fair enough.
I have a second by Commissioner Glenn, Commissioner Diaz.
do I have a vote in this?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glenn.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 12, discuss and take action to ratify the invoices from master teams for additional building repairs for the Montana Vista Station in the amount of $3,975. Commissioners, as you all aware, we did have a couple more things. I had them when they removed the old ACs, paint the whole boardroom, because it was pretty scuzzy. They were already there, so they were actually way cheaper than everybody else. We had them relocate the compressor from the back into the front and had a 220 volt. That wasn't part of their construction, so they have added that. So that it's totaling $3,975. Motion I would like, with your favorable consideration, I'd like a motion to ratify
Is
this.
there a reason we don't need 3 bids for this? I think the correct choice is they put it together. They,
Right. The electrician was already there. It was cheaper. It's just, since it's different, the flagpole was added there. The only problem that I did see is that he built it all together versus when we gave the order.
Okay, I make a motion.
second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Diaz. Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes.
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glenn.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 13, discuss and take action amending chapter 6 of the SOGs. Commissioners, as I stated earlier, one of the things that we looked at is that every department wants to be a little bit different. They have either everybody's supposed to start in according to our SOGs as FD candidate, and then they have trainees, and then they have recruits. So I had a meeting with all the chiefs, and this is the verbiage we all came up with. So in addition to when they come in as a FD candidate, once the person is made a full-time member, they will be considered a recruit or trainee. And the trainee will have to get introduction to firefighting from SFFMA, in the Incident Command System 100, 200, 7, and 800, the traffic incident management, the new cancer awareness, and the courage to be safe.
And the what?
Courage to be safe.
It makes sense.
It's a training, courage to be courage to be safe.
To be
It's a
safe.
training that we have.
It's a training that we have to take,
We have to take it.
the standardized training that we have to take.
That's a training.
Right.
Yes.
This is the exact same prerequisites that we have for the academy versus if they're gonna be a candidate, they will be able to, a recruit, they will get this. In addition to that, we changed it because, the trainees were not supposed to receive anything. So the chiefs requested that if we do it like this and they allow a recruit, then they would receive 3 t-shirts, 2 pants, pair of boots, a belt, 1 jacket, and a dress shirt upon availability. The dress shirt, we will not be buying any unless they're available, because they're not full firefighters yet.
Fair enough.
And all the chiefs agreed to this. I just need a motion with your consideration to make it like this.
Was there concern with this or it just wasn't, it was just?
It was not, it was vague. It was vague, so we went back and corrected it.
But everybody's on board? all the
Everybody's
chief-
on board. All
Yeah.
the chiefs were there.
Okay.
I mean,
Fair enough. Motion to approve it.
Motion. Second,
what was the motion?
Mr. Barnes, second. Diaz,
A motion by Commissioner Barnes, second by Commissioner Diaz. Commissioner Diaz,
aye.
Commissioner Barnes.
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 14, discuss and take action and approve the contract with HR Cano to handle all allegations and training of all contracted fire departments, submitted by Chief Esparza. Cano, I have a motion by Commissioner Barnes,
Second.
A level of confidence.
I have a motion by Commissioner Barnes, second by Commissioner Diaz. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glidden,
Aye.
motion carries. Go ahead, Mr. Cano.
Thank you.
Did you want to expound on it, sir? I mean, I know, been weeds on it last meeting, but please.
Again, I think we had this discussion, obviously beginning probably as early as probably tomorrow. We'll have the girls start scheduling, start looking at all the fire departments, start reaching out to the fire chiefs through email. Everything will be through email communication, so we can have support. In case we get questioned, I did not get that email, or I wasn't notified. We'll have that simply because in the future, God forbid, something happens, we would be able to justify and prove that communication existed. Sign-in sheets were created. And of course, we start the process with the education piece. And we're hoping that that could open the door, or it could shut the door, open the door to possible investigations. Once everybody goes through the training, understands that we're going to be out there pretty much waiting for a call, lending an ear, so to speak, and see if there are any calls that come in so that we can take action. Because again, our goal, our priority is to all these buildings, all 6 that are being utilized, that people are able to walk in and enjoy the ambiance, the atmosphere, and to be free from any hostile work environment, harassment in the workplace. It's the number one complaint, and nationally. And of course, in Texas, it's a different color because obviously you have the Texas Workforce Civil Rights that goes after the individual doing the harassing and anybody that knew and didn't do anything about it. Hence why we want to make sure that the communication is through email, text, whatever the case may be, something that's tangible that we're able to prove. So I'm opening up to you for any questions. And again, thank you for the approval.
No, that's a gimme, but, when we talk to the chiefs, it's something, are the chiefs all familiar with this?
I'm sorry?
Are the chiefs all familiar with this, that is coming?
I've talked to several of them
The headlight
that,
tunnel?
and I'll send out an email once all this is done and call them because they're not answering their emails.
Yeah, maybe that's something we can, if we approach the topic, would be a advantageous situation to have a representative from.
It is my understanding is that once approved, that we were going to have a meeting with the chiefs so that they understand what's coming and because we needed to get the approval first before we alerted them. But now that it's been approved, our next step recommendation is to have a meeting in person with all the chiefs, volunteer chiefs and assistant chiefs if need be, so that they all understand the process, the progression, and go from there.
I know the intent is to have a meeting with the chiefs coming up. Would it be advantageous to a broad stroke? And then it's still not the way from the sit down, not to be that one-on-one.
Correct.
But the kids, maybe a broad stroke, which way this is what's,
Yeah.
But like I said, females, yeah, I think majority sure females.
Right. And again, I mean, just simple steps. We're going to try to keep it as simple as possible, not convolute anything.
And again, this will be added to their contract as well.
I think it's gonna help recruitment, retention. I think there's positive side of this. We weed out predators, I guess, but.
That's the plan.
Fair enough.
That's the goal. Yep. Any other questions?
Nope. Thank you for what you
Thank
do.
you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, so you already signed in. Have you heard anything about this? Okay, no problem. Well, they want to make, get on the positive side and make sure you understand what's coming. Not what's coming, what's available. Okay.
Item number 15, discuss and take action on approving the purchase of 4 breathing air bottles for the Montana Vista Fire Department through Morton Morrow Inc. in the amount of the amount is incorrect, Commissioners. It's $7,347.41. And you do have the quote up on there, and they are the dealer for the machine that we have there.
When it works.
The machine works. It's the bottles that do not work.
Okay, so this is the one you're talking about earlier.
Right.
Yes. Make a motion.
Second.
The motion is, Commissioner Glenn, can you clarify the motion is for the amount of $7,347.47?
Make a motion to go ahead and purchase 4 bottles, air bottles, in the amount of $7,347.41.
Which is
41 cents.
41.
A motion by Commissioner Glenn. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Avalos. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 16, discuss and take action on approving the annual service to all fire departments air compressors through Morton Morrow in the amount of $8,133.87. Commissioners, I'd like to delete this item.
this redundant?
No, this is for them to come out and service all our machines, but our maintenance department does that.
Motion to delete.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glenn.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 17, discuss and approve to allow the right of way for the El Paso Electric Company to install the service at Montana Vista Station 1.
Motion.
A second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Glenn. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glenn.
Aye.
Motion carries.
We look at. Keep it safe, but.
I'm being,
We're already approaching on people's calendars right now. We're already at the too late mode almost. I say that, people that we want coming, their calendars are getting populated. I know Jackie wants to come, I don't know where she's at. I think this is out of town.
Are we talking about the opening of the
Grand opening.
grand opening?
Is this an opportunity to push it out, maybe 5 August or something, or?
I was thinking of the same thing, but they were telling me that they will have it lit up by then.
That's fine, but to get people out here, populate calendars,
I've already sent out invites. That's the,
you get a copy?
yes. Believe you did. Yes.
Agree.
We read the email.
We can resend it to you. We can resend it to you.
I did see that. Are we at a point now, I don't want people to say, hey, they have to choose, you know what I'm saying, because they're.
I'm gonna have a backup plan for that as well, a generator, maybe. El Paso Electric, they took this as a priority because I told them, this is the fire station that responds to your facility. And they're taking it as a priority. Any other comments? Item number 18, discuss and approve the ESD number 2 to consider having a chaplain to provide spiritual care for individuals. Like
Commissioners,
Commissioner Avalos.
I wanted your permission, and if one of you wants to help me to look for a chaplain, to appoint a chaplain for the ESD under a volunteer position. I know there's chaplains for fire departments, police departments, and the military as well. And in the case one of our volunteers or paid staff ever felt the need to reach out, I would like to see if you would give me permission to seek a chaplain. That way there's someone available to the men and women of the ESD should they need the service one day.
I know that was standard. If we had, if any young officer see the death of somebody or urgent situations, they're required to see the chaplain. So I don't think you need a requirement to make it available option.
Fuentes, can you sign in for this item, please? Sorry. Just to make sure.
Where do I sign in?
Is the sheet not there?
There's not.
I'll get you a sheet right.
There's a difference between a chaplain, as you're saying, and then a counselor.
Pretty close.
Unless we're gonna be training this chaplain to be a counselor as well too, for, for deaths and all these reasons. Then I just wanted to make that a statement to you guys, that way you guys understand that there's a difference.
That's a good point. Were you looking for something more for the critical incident side you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Versus someone to praise that are.
I think maybe we should look for both then. I mean, if there's, I think that'd be good. Yeah,
Our HOA has chaplains.
yeah. So maybe,
Pretty bad.
maybe there's someone who wants, they see an incident, they want to pray with someone or seek that, but then if we can get that type of help too, that's definitely something that maybe we should be looking at or seeking as well.
And I'm currently looking into the incident stress debriefing, a part of it through several departments are getting together and they want to create a big one. So that, because none of us are really big enough to handle a
Right.
big one. So they feel that if we unite together and we make a big one, then we can support each other. And it's not. No, Fort Bliss is the one that invited us to this. No, not for a chaplain, for the incident stress debriefing. I'm sorry? Well, can we have one?
Sure, you probably get one.
If you give me their number, I'll call.
So we are looking at at that other part internally, because we want to provide some of our staff to be, some of our own firefighters, some of our own volunteers to be part of that we know how to cope with it.
You talking about the constables, maybe sharing with them, or are we talking?
No, this is strictly fire.
Okay. talking about budgeting for one versus volunteer?
No, no, this is all, this is all is a matter of teamwork as far as our staff helping each other out when we're struggling with the issues that we see at work. Right. Mhm.
Which is fighters that are trained to learn how to receive a little bit, but report.
Report and be able to give comfort.
Training there that goes with it.
I think we deviated a little bit.
Good evening,
How you doing?
Commissioners. Just a real quick.
Back at you, Mr. Cano. I mean,
He wants to
information on
volunteer to
that.
be the chaplain.
You might want to consider an outside source. Every CISD training that we've been to that, well, I've been involved in, they always recommend that it's not a good idea for you to counsel your own personnel. Incidents like this, you want your individuals to be able to open up, say what they want to say, and they're always reserved when they're talking to their fellow firefighters, fellow captains or whatever, because they feel they're going to be judged. So you always want an outside source when you do critical incident
I
stress.
think
debriefing.
you're correct, but we're talking two different levels as far as counseling versus, I know the critical incident peer support personnel.
Yes.
We call them CSIPs.
Mhm.
They were, the junior guys, remember it's a simple 8-hour class. Their job wasn't to give them comments, more of a hug, verbal hug, because they reported. Because a lot of people didn't want to report. It didn't happen to me. I don't really want to report it, but
And that's why you always want to use external people because they don't want to report and stuff. So you want to look, I don't know what Chief Esparza is looking at, but if you ever have any major incidents, and we have, for our agency, we have people that we use anytime our personnel have a critical call, and it might be a baby, kids involved, a major accident and stuff. So I've gone to the trainings and stuff, but they've always said, don't counsel your own people. So we have outside people. So, and a lot of times it's just a phone call. It's a 24-hour service. A lot of times it's just a phone call for them to debrief, say whatever, and it's kind of good. If not, then we look at what else is needed besides that with recommendations from whoever we're using and stuff. But you do need somebody, these guys respond to calls and see things that we shouldn't see. We see people in the worst time and stuff. Major fires, and then especially if their own department, somebody gets hurt or something, you need someplace for them to reach out to be able just to call, cry, hug, whatever, but it's always better to have an outside source.
I agree. But, you know, if we want to identify, so if, a young firefighter goes out, sees, like you said, a baby. I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. He goes to the next incident, has the baby, now it triggers that.
Yes.
He's unable to provide that critical care.
And a lot of times officers are the ones that'll see that, realize it, and then just make the recommendation for them to make the call. This way, they're not making the call to their own people and then, oh, is he gonna go tell Fred that I said this or whatever? So, you know, and that's,
Unfortunately, we have those in our record.
yeah.
We don't have the own yet. We had up there for the county, for the city, for the fire. He's retired now, but I think there is somewhere in between sometimes. So I think the commissioner's looking forward to give that emotional, that spiritual support that it's 1 to 70, you know, anything spiritual, you know, this is things. Sometimes it's black.
And I know like when we had the Walmart thing, they brought in outside people for that specific reason.
They didn't have enough.
We did.
We didn't, wasn't enough in our past.
Yeah.
Of course, it's good. Good point.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Commissioners, Chief Marcus, has probably some insight in that also and like to be a part of that to help you out on that.
Oh, also, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
So on the critical incident stress debriefings, correct me if I'm wrong, but years ago, there was already a team set up here in El Paso that comprised of people from all types of different departments, volunteer side, city, Fort Bliss, EMS, fire, PD, all of them had one team that you could, you put a call into them and they came. We actually did one at West Valley after we had a really bad call on the New Mexico side one night. It was bad. And just like you said, some of the younger guys, you know, it took a toll on them. And that team came into West Valley. And it's comprised of people from all over the city and county. It's not like you have a team that's your department members. These guys were
From all over.
retired firefighters. Some are retired, some are active. And it comprises a team. One of my former partners at the sheriff's office, he's retired now. He was actually part of it. I mean, I don't know. You want me to reach out or and see if that still
Maybe put a team together.
still exists?
Well, it still exists for the city of El Paso, and I think they're trying to unify it again back to.
Yeah, cause that's how it used to be years ago. They would come from everywhere. All you gotta do is put a call into them. So,
Chief, also, just something to think about. I don't know if through, our insurance, sometimes they'll have something for like an 800 number where they can call somebody as well, just to get it started, and then afterwards, work on it on a local level as, you know, as it needs to be taken care of, you know, if it's, they can't do it up there, then we start taking care of it on local level, and they need more counseling or whatever.
You're talking about EAPs?
Yes.
Yeah, and so, I mean, the way it reads, it's spiritual care, right? And so there's different types of assistance. Of course, you have spiritual, for that, you're talking about, now you're talking about, religion. If you start talking about psychological, then either or, you need people that are certified, that are experts in that area. We get calls, but we don't take care of the call, necessarily ourselves in, you know, dealing with the loss or dealing with whatever PTSD, anything that they've gone through. That always gets escalated to the experts in that area. So, you need to look for someone that's going to be able to, I guess, serve to both, not just the spiritual side of it, but also the psychological side of it. And that would, we do work with companies that deal with mental health patients. And we also assist the Catholic Diocese of El Paso as well. And so we could assist in reaching out and seeing what kind of assistance you're looking for. But we need to define if it's just spiritual or psychological. So I'm
I think-
assuming it's both.
I think now that we heard from everyone, which I'm glad we got the response it did, I think we need to look for both. Because I do feel like we don't provide the mental health service, the counseling side for some of our volunteers and what they see here.
Absolutely.
And they should have the same services that El Paso Fire have, that if they were to see something tragic, our paid or volunteer staff, that they can go to someone and talk to someone, whether it be just on the religious side, or if they choose not to do the spiritual side and just do counseling, or both, they should have the same opportunities that other paid firefighters do. So and I'm glad everybody had something to say about this, because I learned something tonight too. So,
And I'm sorry, Commissioner Diaz has a good point. The first thing you look at is your insurance and see what they provide, and most insurances provide those programs, EAPs, and then the next point would be, okay, if it's over the phone, but what if they want to do it in person? Then the next step would be, what's the next step here locally?
maybe a discussion we can have too is even for, and maybe I'm gonna, and this is where I need guidance from you guys.
Sure.
Even for spouses, because I know unfortunately,
Absolutely.
you know, law enforcement and fire department also have some very high divorce rates. Some of that has to do with the PTSD that comes with the job. So it's just try to keep the family intact as well. That's what I'm thinking. So that not just a firefighter, he or she, but the person that's at home, the people at home waiting for them. So
Absolutely.
that's kind of why I wanted to bring this up tonight as well. So we can start
Absolutely.
taking care of them on that end.
I agree.
Oh, good point.
Question.
Maybe there's a parallel effort there. Be nice to have we have a ceremony, we have a chaplain, have our own chaplain there.
Yeah.
We do amazing.
No, yeah, but we should have.
No, I'm kidding. But to have a chaplain, to
Right.
represent us, and I think that would send a message out to our volunteers and to our base that, hey, there is spiritual support if needed, so.
So for tonight, I just want to see if I can begin the process of reaching out, and I'll work with Mr. Cano as well. And we're reaching out to the diocese, make sure we have a priest and a pastor, Catholic, Protestant. That way, in case there's that, I feel more comfortable with such person. And then we can definitely start looking at the insurance, like Mr. Diaz said, and see what we can do on the counseling side to make sure there's that support for our volunteers and paid staff too.
We need to make a motion to maybe the commissioner and HR, maybe one of the chief, one of the volunteers. Chief, you nodding yes? Okay, I'm sorry, volunteers? You know what I'm saying? You get The chief market. You got volunteers. Yes. That way you can get a collective.
I think, Chief, myself and Mr. Reynolds, if it's okay with you guys. to leave. Yeah, okay.
Is there a motion for item number 18?
Second,
No, is there a motion? I
Motion.
yeah.
Second, I'll second.
have a motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glenn. Motion carries. Item number 19, discuss an update, for dispatch services for ESD number 2, submitted by Commissioner Barnes.
Yes, sir. I don't know how far we are today as we were 4 months ago. Have we had any traction?
We have been waiting for, and last I spoke to you, you said you were gonna set up a meeting with the sheriff's department?
That's what I say. I talked to Ryan here the day of the graduation. He's on board. He'd like to set up a meeting with Tom Whitten. And he already called, got approval of the sheriff, Rich Wiles, who for now, sheriff for now. They're on board. I'm not saying they're the option, but maybe discuss it with them. I'd like to go to that meeting, maybe one of the commissioner, Roger and Joe, if you're available, and put some lean on them a little bit, because let us know what they can provide. Same quality service. I'm not saying Verizon's not the option. I'm looking at options for our taxpayers.
Right.
Because I think right now, I want the exact numbers, Verizon's about 400K.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah. So I think we have to do a double look at that. We still have 911 radio down there. I don't know if that's not, I actually personally, I'd like to see how many money for the county. I don't know if you have to change, so I don't want to, I'm not pulling it back a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Here we are at EFC2 money going to EFC1.
Yes.
So we're not really, it's not for, it's going to city of Verizon, right?
Yes.
But there's an opportunity there to get the same service for a lesser tax cost. It gives us opportunities
If for some reason, Commissioner Santana cannot go with you guys,
I don't think he's going, I don't think he intends to go.
I'll-
I have 2 commissioners. If you want.
yeah, I'll go.
It's a good idea too. I agree with Commissioner Barnes. We already work very closely with the sheriffs anyways. We do a lot with them, and this would just continue to solidify that relationship that we have with the county and the sheriff. So
What you guys think?
I'm in agreement. I mean, I'm looking for something better than what we have now as far as price. And we can get down to the contract when we talk to legal in a little bit. September 30th.
iPad to make it ready, so we have to.
By September 30th, we have to sign the next.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we do a month by month or 4-month option if we have to?
It's billed quarterly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You take a look at all these things, Mark, these and I think there's opportunities out there to save money, but get the same service. And the important part is make sure our responders get the same quality service.
Right.
I think that's there with either El Paso 911 or sure. I don't know. Do we have to make a motion on this?
No, informational purposes only. Item number 19 for informational purposes only. Item number 20, discuss on recognition program for ESD2 staff, paid firefighters and volunteers.
Brought this up a couple of years ago. I think I leaned on it a year ago. I think if someone screws up today, Jamie screws up, we're gonna smack him in the head today. He gets a smack, right? But if people do good, I wanna make sure we put the same effort and recognition or same effort and priorities to those out there that are doing well. I think possibility, this is speaking out loud, maybe volunteer firefighter of the month, a firefighter for paid staff of the quarter, because they have a smaller population to work with. We have support staff of the quarter. Yeah, no, but you know, you got people out there doing women's work, and I don't know if I might be wrong. We're saying things to enough. You know, I'm sure we do a verbally, taking lunch, we get a quick attaboy, but maybe put your picture on the wall. You know what I'm saying? And, I don't know what we can do for that individual. I use him as just an example. All right, it's an example. Or maybe a steak dinner, maybe an attaboy somehow, you know, a certificate or something, and recognize in front of the peers, in front of listeners for us.
I think that's a great idea, and we've tried in different locations, and I think what part of the problem is gonna be how to get the volunteers here to acknowledge this award, if you would. I think a lot of them are right now more interested in the financial gain that they would have. And you're right, it's something that we need to do that, but if we are gonna present something, they don't show up, it's not.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Maybe the commissioners can correct me or Mr. Cano. Would it be out of the question, like, for the paid staff to give them a quick bonus? Like, hey, here's a couple hundred, or a volunteer, to give them a gas card and besides their picture, like a gas card gift, so they have gas money?
We do have an incentive, not an incentive, a budget for recognizing our employees. And we do that every year. So that happens every year,
Okay.
but we can't give a bonus. Bonus is a no.
So can we get them gas, something practical that they're gonna be?
Yeah,
able to
they
use,
get,
right?
they get a gift card.
I'm not sure where we get the. Because if they're fighting the same fire situation, puts them at the same fire. I don't want to give one, you know, one pair of boots, $200, and another one a milkshake at, you know, what I'm saying, Grace. So I want to
Better
make it fair and equitable across the board. You know, I think there's opportunities out there and options that we can discuss with HR or legal or something like that to make sure we're stepping on our gratuity, you know, line, but lines of gratuity, but also say thank you.
And again, commissioners, the $25,000 that we gave the departments, that's what it's meant to be used for, to say thank you to our volunteers. Some chiefs do and some chiefs don't. Right.
Well, we have a volunteer here. What do you think? Do you think this is not something we should pursue? I mean, what's your opinion on this?
I did.
And then we have paid here too, so you give us your thoughts. Tell us what you guys are thinking.
Speaking for all the stations.
I wouldn't want to speak for all the stations because I don't really know how they all work. But we already get the recognition from our individual fire departments with Christmas parties. They'll give you a recognition for firefighter of the year. Now, it coming from the ESD, that's something that all the chiefs would have to get together and then vote on someone to become.
You ain't voting on that. It's our money.
I'm just giving a, you know, advice here, you know.
Fair enough. I get what you're saying about that.
But aside from that, you would have to talk to each individual chief and see how they manage their own department and recognition. As for Socorro, Chief Sariana does give out recognition awards on the end of the year, you know, firefighter of the year, EMTs, whatnot, you know, so there is recognition being handed out.
And
But,
in your opinion, just your opinion, do you think if we did this, the firefighters might feel like we're overstepping in terms of the recognition, or would it be?
No, I think recognition from, you know, the higher ups is always welcome, you know.
Okay.
So the incentive. Now, how that would work, it's gonna be really difficult for you guys to decide how to manage that.
Okay. When's the last time someone said thank you to you?
Yes, sir.
When's the last time someone said thank you to you?
Yes, sir.
You did?
Yes, sir.
God bless.
Thank you.
That's the form of thing.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, I want to insult on what the fire departments are doing at all. Keeping you busy.
Yes.
In addition to this, you know, the opportunity to recognize maybe officers, maybe some officers, usually each officers don't get recognized.
Right.
They don't. Because the level of expectation, that's what, that's your job.
Usually for the city of El Paso, which I do work for, they give out, that is for your dress news, you know, a little badge. And it comes out like the army kind of. It usually goes a long way, but I mean, not all departments are just doing for one that special agents. And so forth, so that's something you have to put to the chiefs.
It is, well, you're younger.
They have the girl.
Big black sheep.
I would suggest that you,
I think we should brainstorm. I think we need to get together. One or two of the chiefs, couple volunteer chiefs. You know, couple commissioners say, hey, how can we say thank you to our volunteers? Like I said, you screw up, we're coming at you that day. Someone does a great job, that same day, we should be figuring out how do we recognize them at the next.
I like the idea of a pin. That pin, I like that.
And I wanted to say firefighters, we have support staff that, like I said, the yeoman's works out there, do work hard every day to make sure we do. Teachers, if you're the kids saying, doing the same work as, the brainstorms.
so here at the district level, we do have the recognition with the ribbons. You've seen us wearing them. Every firefighter gets the recognition for everything that they've accomplished, delivering a baby, EMT, firefighter. They get to wear their, what we call their brass on their chest, on their dress shirt. I think that's West Valley has it. And I think those are the only ones that have it. I'd like to see the same thing go across the board.
That's where we gotta put our lines of effort. We have to make sure we don't Commissioner Havelo said, we can't, I want to cross into family business. I think there's stuff we can do at the district, say thank you from the district for what you're doing. Put your picture on the wall.
I think a firefighter of the quarter on the volunteer side would be awesome.
This kind of comes down to my next agenda item, maybe a quarterly newsletter.
Okay.
Where everyone nice kind of knows what's going on. They get a quarterly newsletter. I don't want to step to, that's not for today. I forgot to.
You want to take action on item number 20? Or just have a brainstorming meeting separately?
Chiefs will go from there. Is that okay? There's stuff out there. Definitely never the smartest guy in the room.
Item number 20, informational purposes only. Item number 21, discuss on hiring policies, procedures, or positions within ESD number 2, submitted by Commissioner Barnes.
HR.
Most of the practices are pretty simple. Need, post, we start getting emails, pre-screen, little, send back to chiefs, assistant chiefs. They review, they like, send it to us, schedule interviews, we meet with them, we sit with them, ask the questions. The selection is done by the chief or assistant chief or designee. Pretty standard, pretty simple. We give our 2 cents, so we do get involved in the hiring process. There is a hiring policy that we created for our chief. Pretty standard stuff, but that's pretty much it. Cindy and Brenda are the ones that are mostly involved, so obviously you can ask them questions regarding the practices. We're very consistent.
Take the rest of it into executive. Take the rest of it into executive session. That's okay?
Oh, yeah, sure. Perfect.
So do you want a motion to put this into executive then?
Motion for information only.
Okay.
You want item number 21 for information only?
If possible, please.
Because you can also table it till after executive.
No information. I think we're good for that.
Item number 22, discussing clarification standard procedures and agenda item submissions requested by department chief, submitted by Commissioner Glidden.
Yeah, commissioners, I've asked to put this on the agenda so so I could get an understanding on the procedures on volunteer department chiefs putting items on the agenda.
So there is already a policy, Commissioner, as I talked to you the other day.
It's on the SOG, isn't it?
Right.
Then, and I guess, so the volunteer chiefs would come and speak with you on whatever subject or,
No, they can send it, they can fill out the form, tell me why, the descriptions and the backup. And if it's all completed, we put it on the agenda. If it's something that we're already working on separately, then it does not go on the agenda, and I reply to them as to why not. Because a lot of times I want a desk, but I want that desk,
I understand, but if a chief feels adamant that he wants or asks to put it on the agenda to
He
bring
would-
it to us,
he
is he
could go to
allowed
one
to
of
do
you.
so?
He could go to one of you all.
He could go to one of us
Mhm.
Yes.
to put it on the agenda
Yes,
for
sir.
him?
Yes, sir.
In other words, at that point in time, if the way I understood it, the way we worded it that last time is that if it doesn't get put on the agenda by Chief Esparza, they can come to us. And if we support it, we put it on the agenda as we support it.
Okay.
Well, item number, you know, item number in the SOC by chance,
I do not.
4.2. I looked.
But I know the form's in our website and it stipulates.
Discussion on- I thought
We
we
did.
did. The chief and a chief had a discussion on something. They couldn't come to a resolution. There was an opportunity for that chief to add it to the agenda.
Yes.
I think they had to come shopping for a commissioner.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
They could add it themselves, right? Or
No.
request to add it.
No, it has to be through a commissioner, because a commissioner has to agree that there is something there that say, okay, I see your point. And they come to you all. And most of the time, I think I've only denied one. If it's not on the agenda, it's because it's something minute, and I'm gonna use him as an example. Chief Marquez, he wanted me to put the couches on the agenda. Couches are not something the board should be listening to. Which he's getting his couches, by the way.
Right, he come up and present
Present his points.
his case.
Does he have to come to a commissioner? Can he request you to put it on there?
He could, and if it's something that's important, I do put it on the agenda. If it's something minute that we, like I said, a couch or a striping of a truck, those things don't really need to be addressed by you all. We typically handle that at our level. I'm talking about something big. Couch.
The opportunity, I want to talk about something. It might be free. Might not be a price on it. Might be I don't know. Trouble.
No, not in trouble. I just want to give, I guess, my 2 cents, right? I think one of the most difficult aspects of you all here and now of you all here and his role from an HR, even from an HR perspective. He's in a position that he should be afforded an opportunity to make those minor decisions, right? A couch, in my opinion, you all have bigger fish to fry than focusing on a volunteer chief about a couch or aesthetics or, how many balloons they get at the balloon, whatever. That's something chief should have reign to, only because you don't want to confuse the chain of command in a sense, right? It's really important that you all try to, and I harp on this all the time with any type of board. And I do that because I sit on a board, right? And one of the hardest things for me is if I have a teacher coming to me with complaints, I have to push them to the superintendent. Vice versa with you all. Getting into the day-to-day stuff, items really exposes you all, and it dismantles the hard work put into setting those boundaries and those lines that are essential to the success of the district in itself on a day-to-day basis. So something like Chief is explaining the couch, unnecessary for it to come here. Now, if it's about, whether a stipend is being paid out on time, if it's something weighty, monetary, where there may be some egregious harm or it's impeding them to do the functions that they're on board to do, then by all means, that should come to you all. But if it's something that minor, I would not recommend that from an HR standpoint of any kind.
Okay.
That's
Thank
just
you.
my
Well, usually
opinion.
Couch is a bad example.
Yeah.
You said no on the couch, we all support you. I was no, you know, but I don't want that, take the couch away, but I think as, Chief Wooden said, I don't want, an incident down the road where I don't think it should become to shopping for a commissioner, hey, we put this on the agenda, but now we're in your authority, they should be going around your back.
And that's the one thing that we have to be clear. The form is stipulated. If I deny it, I have to give a reason why.
Has anyone ever filled out the form?
Yeah, oh yeah, every single, when you see the trainings, they fill out their form. Every time they submit to go out of town for training, they submit their form for agenda items.
Yeah, but it's not because you denied.
No,
No, say, has anyone ever filled out a form?
it's only one and I can't remember who it was, but it's only been once.
You treat it fair, don't
Yeah.
I know when we had this discussion, when it first came up, that was one of the concerns was if Chief Esparza were to say no, what are the what are the fail safe? Like, how do we know he's not just picking on the chief? And we had that long discussion, and what we came to the conclusion was that if there was the explanation, and that if that chief, for whatever reason, felt that still nonetheless him saying no, that he then had the opportunity to go to a commissioner. But to this point, at least to my knowledge, that has not happened since this policy has been in place. Because I think Chief Esparza does a good job of taking it what's there.
And again, training, the important things that we have to deal with here, they always make it into the agenda. But if I'm gonna come in, oh, I want bigger tires on my truck, those aren't gonna come to you.
Which we used to get those agenda items before we put this in. Right?
Yes.
That was one of the reasons why we discussed.
And just to be clear, that person, if he were to approach you, he would have a form saying, this is the reply that he gave.
Correct.
And you all would be able to read, that's a good reply. No.
Or we could say, you know what, Roger, this reply, I don't like it. We're gonna
Mhm.
bring this up to the board. Yes.
And you can.
That was the fail. Yeah.
All right, and that was the part I didn't
You signed
understand.
in.
Yes, sir.
You're the only one here, so you gotta speak for everyone else.
That comes out of the SMGs, which I have on my head. It's just a request form. It just says all public requests to speak on the ESD agenda must be submitted to fire chiefs that fire marshal 4 days prior. But there's no steps by step on how to submit for the agenda.
That's on chapter 16, correct?
It's gonna be on chapter 22, our request form.
I'll double check it because you might have an old,
Yeah.
but it was voted on and it was approved and the form is on our website.
Nope.
What would you like to do with item number 22, Commissioner Glenn?
Just for information only.
So we can cover chiefs, make sure they understand the process. Sit down with them, is that fair? Yeah.
And a lot of times,
I think
Commissioner,
most of them do.
and a lot of times, if it doesn't make it on the agenda, it's either they submitted the day it was due and no backup. They just like, oh, here, put this agenda. Where's your backup? What backup? We don't have anything. Supporting documentation for what they want. Executive session, El Paso County is ESD number 2 is now entering into closed meeting pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551-071 to consult with district attorney concerning all matters identified on the agenda, where the board member seeks advice from the attorney in privileged communication. The date is Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. Time is 7:35.
Look, now the mic's off, you can ask Angie and Rodney now.
El Paso County has completed its closed meeting. The date is Tuesday, June 2023. Time is 9:10 PM. Regular session, take action on legal matters. Do I have a motion to delete?
Motion to delete. A second.
I have a second by Commissioner Glidden. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 27, take action on personal matters. Do I have a motion to delete?
Motion to delete. A second.
A motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Glidden. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 28 is take action on contract for services with an engineer to oversee the Fabian Socorro Fire Station.
Motion to allow Chief Esparza to negotiate the contract fees with the engineer not to exceed over 30,000. And if over 30,000, bring it back to the board, please. And that was a motion.
The motion is to allow Chief Esparza to negotiate the contract with the engineer not to exceed 30,000. If it goes over 30,000, bring back to the board. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 29, discuss and approve the next meeting to take place on July 18th.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Diaz. Second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries. Adjournment at 9:12 PM.